What's up everyone? This is going to be my first video on boxing. I plan to make more videos in the future, just on like a review on like cards, boxing cards that I watch, and maybe some historical stuff that I know, but I'm more knowledgeable on the modern side of boxing, so that's probably my expertise. But for today, we're going to be doing a review on the Usyk versus Verhoven card. Where should I start? I don't know what to really talk about for the prelims, but I can say, Jamar Talley, I think was his name, the cruiserweight bout. He looked good. Yeah, I really liked his movement, and his shot selection was very accurate. So he'll be someone that I look out for. And considering he's also trained under Bomac, I think, because I think I saw him in the corner. I think I would be looking out for him as a real danger in the heavyweight, but he needs more fights, definitely. And I haven't watched his other fights, but I guess we need to see his cardio as well once he gets in there with the tricky veteran. So that's Jamar Talley. Now we get to the main card. The first fight of the card was Lapin versus the French guy, Tanny or something. About Lapin, I never rated him. I saw his fight against Edmondson. I forgot which card that was, but he did not look good. And this fight, he also looked really not on the level. His jab was just very pouring and not much authority in that jab, and he was doing a lot of back foot work, which I don't think is something you should do against someone like Tanny, who's going to walk through your punches and pressure you. And obviously Tanny got the job done with 3 knockdowns. I think the first one was with I forgot what the order of the knockdowns were, but there was one with he turned Lapin around and then hit him with the hook to the head, which was a very nice knockdown, very smart from him. Another one was to the solar plexus, and then the stomach, and then he knocked him down. And then the last one was, I think, a stomach shot again, and then Lapin took a knee, and then Tanny got the win. I think based on that performance, Tanny might still seem a bit basic. So I think he might need to implement a bit more craft into his work. But that was a good win. Now he's onto the scene. I think light heavyweight, right? Good win for Tanny, and I'm excited to see more of him. That was my first fight, so he did impress me in the first fight. Now on to the next event. Next fight, it was Mizuki Hirota versus Solomon. Hirota is good. There was some flaws. She did get hit with the right hand quite a bit. But what I have learned is that she does have a good enough chin to weather the storm, and her movement is immaculate. Solomon, she's not bad. She's a bit basic, but she has the fundamentals. She has a guard. That's good. She can throw right hands. That's all I can really say. I guess she can go on the front foot pretty well. But Mizuki Hirota, her movement is just something to behold in the women's boxing. And I did a bit of studying of her before watching the card. And around her division, there's Gabriela Fondora, which she might need to watch out. She might need to tidy up her defense a bit if she wants to successfully defend her title against Fondora, or unless she wants to go down. If I was to do an early prediction for Hirota versus Fondora, I think Fondora will take it. Probably by knockout if Hirota doesn't fix her somewhat leaky defense. Of course, her main form of defense is to bounce out and then bounce back in. But I feel like she needs to do more with the guard. And plus, Fundora is also a very, very long girl. So Hirota might struggle with the range. But if she's planning to unify, then I think she has a good chance. The next fight on the card was, if I'm not wrong, I think it was Sanchez versus Torres. Now this one, I saw that Frank Sanchez was an underdog, and I do not know why. I did one study on Richard Torres, and it was him against Guido Vianello. And as soon as I saw that fight, I knew Sanchez was going to win. Because what I've noticed about Richard Torres, he's very twitchy, he's very fast, I'll give him that. But his entries are very leaky. And when he enters, his guard is kind of like Dubois, in like a, what do you call it? A wedge defense, I should say. Yeah, and that makes his defense very leaky. And I knew it was going to be a matter of time before he gets caught by Sanchez. I didn't expect it to be that early, but I did expect it to be by knockout. Which is why I did put a bet and I did win. So, kudos to me. I don't recommend you bet, and especially not big amounts, but I'm happy I got that bet right. Sanchez, his biggest problem to me is probably his knee, but his knee looked alright. Hopefully it continues to stay alright, because if his knee does not become messed up again, then I can see him being a big problem. And I can definitely understand why he's called the boogeyman and no one wants to fight him, except for Torres, which fair play. So I guess that's the end of the heavyweight American dream, Torres. If Torres wants to come back, I would recommend he fixes his defense or how he enters into range. Because when he enters, oh my god, his defense just open. What would I recommend? I don't know. Probably just close your guard a bit more when you enter. But I do like his movement. I think he should probably learn to pace himself as well. Be a bit less jittery so you can expend less energy. But if you have the gas tank for it, by all means, go for it. Whereas for Sanchez, I think with him, what I've noticed about him against the likes of like a Jagba and what's his name, Junior Farr, he needs to be a bit more active if he wants to win rounds. Yeah, because he's like counter-punching a lot of the time, which is fine, but if you can't find it, then you're fucked. So I would say in the meanwhile, while you're trying to counter-punch, try and score a bit more than what he does. And then the next was Katarol Giasov. I know the stigma around Katarol that he's boring, but this was not a boring fight. He was very, very good. His 1-2, his jab to the body was world level, was elite. And that was for the WBA regular title? I think so. And that was world title worthy performance. So sad he got robbed by Josh Taylor in the first fight. But I'm happy that he's got a version of the world title now. About Giasov, I'll be honest, I haven't watched any fights of his before this one. But watching this one, he looked extremely basic. And he looked extremely tentative as well after the first round knockdown. So I don't think there's going to be any rematch time anytime soon. But I guess in the future, if his fights are not usually that kind of style, and this was the one-off, then I'll need to watch him a bit more to understand what he's actually like. But if this is his usual fighting style, he needs to be way more aggressive at some points. Because he was way too basic and way too lenient to just lose rounds like that. And for Katarol, if he's to win the world title now or get elevated, I'm excited for him in the division. I think he would have a bit of a problem against Haney though, with his negative style. Ryan Garcia, give him a good chance against Garcia. And Lewis Crocker, I think. Well, I need to see him versus Paro, so wait for that. But what I didn't like about Catterall was how he jabbed the body. And how often he did. I know he does it often, so he can like unpredictability to when he jabs to the head and then follows up with the 2. But if he continuously jabs to the body, like how he does, and then exposes his head, then I think he could get caught very quickly by someone who can read him. So I'll watch out for that. Next fight was Hamza Shiraz versus Alan Begic. That was just a run-of-the-mill fight. Very easy and rudimentary for Hamza Shiraz. He's got his world title. That's fair enough. Hamza looked good, I would say, but as expected, he should have looked good. Very aggressive, as he should have. But let's be honest, he got an easy touch for a world title. But he has a world title now. So I guess what he can do is wait for Canelo and Bewley. Or he could, if he wants to unify, there's Munguia and Iglesias. Or he could do well against Munguia. Assuming Munguia's not on PEDs. Let's get that straight. And against Iglesias, I don't know. I think Iglesias needs a bit more of a test. A bit better of a name than Shishkin. So let's wait for that. And then we can judge more. And then we're on to the big one. Usyk versus Verhoven. Oh god. Now if you don't know, well of course you don't know, it's my first video. I'm a massive fan of Usyk, and he's the person that brought me into boxing. So I'll try not to have a lot of this, but I think I do have a bias for Usyk. And watching this fight was a horror show for me. Oh, I got so scared for Usyk because, oh my god. I'll need to watch the fight back again. But at the time of watching it, I had it 7-3. Possibly 8-2. Oh, he got me scared. But let's pause on that and give our props to Rico Verhoven. Unbelievable performance from him. His jittery style, his hunched over back, somehow puzzled Usyk more than anyone else has. So fair play. But come on, that stoppage. Why'd you stop it there, ref? I don't know, I don't want to remember actually no, I should remember what your name is, ref. So I can critique you in the future, but oh my god, that reffing was not it. Incompetence at its finest. The bell did definitely ring before he said stop. So he should have let Rico given the chance for a 12th round. And about the argument that Usyk could have slimed him out in the 12th, don't really like it. I can accept the fact that it might have been going that way. But what I won't accept is that it would have happened, because you never know. Rico's known for having a good chin and having good recovery powers in kickboxing, so you never know. And because you never know, you have to give them the chance. If Rico was down significantly in the scorecards, then I would accept that stoppage as a means of stop taking more damage. But he was on one of the refs' cards, or two of them actually, level, which is a bit dodge. But the consensus was he was ahead, and he could have produced one of the biggest upsets ever in boxing, so I think you should have let him go. And about Usyk, I'm sorry to say, but I think he's aging quite significantly. I don't know if it's because of the circumstances that he mentioned about his daughter being in a bomb shelter, Which, if that's probably true, sorry for him. I really do hope that his situation gets a lot better. And hopefully that was a one-off performance, because he was heavier than usual by quite significant amounts, which would have not helped in his mobility, as you saw. But I guess he did find the shot, the uppercut that he was looking for in the end in the 11th round. If he was to have his next fight, I would like him to retire, personally, but if he wishes to continue fighting, then I guess there's only two options for him for me, which is Rico Verhoven, the rematch, or Caballero. If it's Rico Verhoven, now there is a blueprint, unless he fights completely different to that, and I think Usyk will have a better time preparing for it, and Usyk should have a more dominant victory. But if it's against Caballero, then I would fear for Usyk. Because if this is not a one-off and this is how he fights now, then I would be scared. Because Usyk's mobility was not great this fight. And Caballero's mobility is still good. Granted, Caballero does get caught, but his body work is relentless. And if it's true, that's one of Usyk's big weaknesses, then Caballero is the guy to expose it. So I would be scared, and I would sincerely hope that Usyk prepares the best he can for it. But other than those two fights, I don't really think there's another fight that he should take, and that he should retire peacefully. And that's the review for the Usyk versus Verhoeven card. Hopefully I can do more of this in the future. Sorry for all the cars, I'm out walking right now. And see you in the next video. See ya.